Okay, this video is going to show you how to use the decimal format class. The decimal format class is going to help you control or to format decimals in your programs. And so before I show you how to use the decimal format class, I'm going to show you why it's important that we know how to use it. And so first of all, if you want to label your notes, this is going to be the decimal format class. That's what we're talking about. It's the decimal format class. Now we've used the scanner class and we've written our own classes. This is going to be the decimal format class that we can get from the Java library. And this is what the scanner class allowed us to write programs that would read user input. This class is going to help us or allow us to write code that will format decimals to look like we want them to look in the output. So the decimal format class, here's what's happening. First of all, just to understand this program, let's say we purchase in this case 11 items, and the total cost of those 11 items is $47.13. And so we want to calculate the total cost of or the cost per each item. Okay, so we're going to take, of course, the total cost and we're going to divide it by the number of items. Okay, so now that's going to be stored in a variable called cost per item. So you will have a variable, a memory location, that's cost per item, and I'm just going to do a shortcut here, and it's going to store that value in this memory location. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take whatever is in here, we are going to put it, we're going to call that variable and display its value in the output. Okay, so if we do that, then we first compile the program and there's no errors, and then we run the program. Alright, so the cost per item is 4.284545454. So right down here, this is the output. Okay, that's what I like to call ugly. Okay, that doesn't work. That's not the way things should look. So what that means is that since we're just printing the value of this memory location, all that means is that in this variable that there's a 4.28 4545 and etc., and it goes on for many times, and it's in that storage location. Now that really doesn't matter because we don't really see this number until we print it, so it doesn't matter what it looks like in the memory location because nobody sees it. What's the important point is how it looks when it's displayed, and so that's what we're going to deal with here. And so let's go ahead and get rid of all this, and we're going to go here. And so here's what you need to use the decimal format class. So make sure you write this down. First thing you need is an import statement. Okay, we've used an import. We've imported the scanner class. Import java.util.scanner. This is going to be import. So import statement start with the word import. Java.text. So it's java.text instead of java.util. Decimal format. That's the name of the class. All right. And so you've got to have the import statement in order for you to write code that formats your decimals. So an import statement is very necessary. Now if you remember, in our scanner class we had a scanner object. So it's just like you go into the store, you pick up one of many scanner objects, and you use that scanner to scan each of your items in the grocery store. Alright, so that's what we're going to do here. We're going to have a decimal format object. So think of it as some kind of an object or a tool that's going to be used as a magic wand to transform an ugly decimal to something that's beautiful. And so what we're going to do is we are going to do the decimal format object, and so that's going to be very similar again as the scanner class. So if you remember, it went scanner, scan, in this case is decimal format, but we're not going to give it the name scan because that means to read. And the simplest thing to do here is just go DF as the name, and the reason that's easy, it's only got 2 letters and is an abbreviation, so to speak, of the word decimal format. So it's very easy and simple to use. So new and decimal format, and then it's what's in here that's going to be the critical issue. Now this decimal format class, we actually have to type stuff in here that's going to depend on how we want to format our decimal. And by the way, if you have different types of formats, you would have to create, well, maybe I'll show you that later. But here, let's go ahead and let's see if we want to format money. That's one of the most common uses, is we're going to format decimals to be money. So we're going to go decimal format. Now in here we got to have quotation marks. Okay, so like it actually makes it a string. So in the quotation marks, we put how we want the decimal to look. We tell the compiler how we want it to look. So we'll tell the compiler, hey, we want a $sign. All right, and then we want a we can go like this, and we're going to have whatever number in front of it, and then we're going to have a decimal point, and after the decimal point we only want it to go 2 decimal places, so we put 2 zeros. Oops, what happened there? That was weird. Alright, so we put 2 decimal places and the $sign, and so that's our decimal format. Now that's our this is our object, and so it's a magic wand, and it's named as DF. Now the key thing though is you have to apply it to the ugly decimal, and I'm going to pause this for a second. Okay, so we are going to take a look at this then and see what we can do to apply this format. So it's going to be like a magic wand that's going to be applied to this ugly decimal and make it look beautiful. And so what we do then to apply that, I'm just going to copy and paste this so you see the difference here. I'm going to copy and paste this, and I'm going to make it, we're going to make it beautiful. Alright, and so what we want to do is we don't need to put the $sign there because it's going to be applied by the decimal format object. And we're going to take this particular variable and we're going to put it in parentheses. This is stuff you need to make sure you're writing down. This is how it looks. You should be able to use this example. You should be able to write it in your notes and then be able to use it in your programs. It's not a mystery. Okay, you got this. You have this ugly decimal that has that's in this variable memory location. You put that inside the parentheses, and the magic wand then is actually what's going to go in front of those parentheses. So we're going to put the name of the object, which is DF. Before we use scan for the scanner object, we're going to use DF dot format. It's that simple. This is the magic wand right here. This is what's being applied to this ugly decimal, and then it's going to hopefully then produce a better looking decimal. And so here we go. We compile it first of all, and everything looks good. We run it. Alright, so there you go. So you see right here, here's the ugly decimal, and here's the beautiful decimal, with the decimal format object being used to change or convert the ugly decimal into a nice looking decimal. Okay, I'm going to pause this for just a second again. Alright, so I'm just going to give you an example of how you can use this other ways. Let's say we wanted 3 decimal places, which is not going to be, in this case it wouldn't be good, but I'm just going to show you. Let's go ahead and add another 0 up here then. So now we have 3 decimal places, and so what it should do is put 3 decimal places in the response down here. Now the next question is, well, it's going to go 284 Now, is it going to round up to 5, or is it going to stay as the 4? And that's the question. And does this format object actually round our decimals? And so we will find out if it does. And you'll see, in fact, it does round the 4 to a 5, because the 5 follows a 4. It rounds it up to a 5 here. And so it does round up. So now we have 3 decimal places because we have 3 zeros. Alright, so here's something else that we can do with this, and this will be my last example, I think, and that is we can, here's our 2 decimal places again, but notice I'm put a comma after 3 number places. So we have 3 places and a comma, and that's how this format object will actually put decimals or commas in our output. The thing is, you can't put a decimal in here, so you can't go like this or in like that, because then when it sees the commas, then it's going to treat it like a string type of situation. And so here's what we're going to do. We have a larger number, so it should result in over $1,000 per item. And so we'll see what that does and see if it puts the commas in there. Alright, so here you go. It's going to be 2,344,033 per item. Alright, so you can see that it does put the commas in there every 3 spots, just by how we write stuff up here. So this is going to control how things look. And that is it for decimal format.